Stock up with me. I've got some things I'm very excited to show you, plus an invite to join me for something very special. Let's go. Hey guys, it's Jara with Wicked Prepared. Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm so glad that you stopped by today. Today I've got another Prepper Pantry haul to share with you, and I have some new things that I'm super excited to show you all. Some really cool things that we're adding to our preps and our pantry. You know, we're all working on stocking our prepper pantries, building our home food storage, and stocking our gear. Or at least I hope we're all doing this. If you aren't, then hopefully you realize how important this is and you've come to the right place to get some ideas and some inspiration to get started. But as we prep, it's inevitable that we're going to be spending some money. There's no way around it. You work hard for those dollars that are in your pocket and in your bank account, and those dollars are powerful. Where and how you spend those dollars can have a huge impact, especially when we band together with others who value the same things that we value. This is something that's been on my mind more and more lately. With that in mind, I've got a project that I'm working on that I'm very excited about. It's a mission, really. But guys, this is huge. This is bigger than me and more than I can take on by myself. So I'm looking for some help from you all out there, because I know we have some amazing friends out there tuning in every week. I know a lot of you share the same values that I do. You've watched, like I have, over the last three and a half years especially, the shift in our country and how small family businesses have been destroyed in favor of huge corporations that don't care about us and don't share the same values that are important to us. And all the while, it's also become harder and harder for us everyday people to get by. So that's why I'm so excited about this project, because I have the opportunity to offer some of you out there a chance to work with me to help make a positive change, but at the same time to make some money, because that's something that I know we all can use, right? In this economy today, we all could use a little extra income stream. Now, this opportunity isn't for everyone, and I'm only going to have a limited amount of spots open, at least in the beginning. There aren't a lot of requirements to work with me on this, but I do need people who are 18 years old, at least 18, and live in the US or Canada. Sorry, Grant. This is remote work, so you can do this from home or literally anywhere that you happen to be. But that being said, you do need to have a phone and a computer that you have access to. And lastly, you just need to be a friendly, nice person, be able to work with people and just have a good work ethic. If you have, 10 hours or so that you can dedicate each week to this project, that's all we need. You'll get training on exactly what needs to be done and get the chance to work with me and an amazing team on an amazing and honorable mission, doing really honorable work, and with the opportunity to earn some really good money to boot. So it's a win-win situation all the way. If this sounds like something that might be a good fit for you, I'm going to be having a Zoom call here in a few days where you can find out more details about this mission and really decide if it's a good fit for you. And if it's not, no hard feelings. That's perfectly fine too. But I do really look forward to seeing some of you there. So if you think this could be something that you could get on board with, or if you're just curious to learn more, then check out the description box below the video. Also the first pinned comment. I'll have some more info down there, the time and the Zoom link. And now let's see what we've added to our Prepper Pantry this week. So I'm going to start right over here with these items because I'm really excited about this. This is something new that I found. I think these are new. So these are 3 cheese sauce mixes. They're from Hoosier Hill Farms, and this company is in Wisconsin. And I have quite a few of Hoosier Hill Farms products in my kitchen. I've used their stuff before. I like their stuff. It's a pretty commonly well-known company and brand. They make a lot of shelf-stable things like this, powdered things like this. So the 3 sauces that I got, this one is the 3 cheese, and then this one is an Alfredo sauce mix. And then this one is Spicy Southwest, and that's these 3. I'm pretty sure that these are new products because I had never seen them before. And all of a sudden I just started seeing these on their website and different places like that. So there was at least one more of these sauces, and it was beer cheese. And I don't know, I could envision myself using these flavors, but I really couldn't envision myself using the beer cheese. I didn't know what I would use it for, so I reined myself in and I didn't purchase it, even though I would have liked to have had the whole set. But let me know, what would you use a beer cheese sauce mix for? If you have any ideas, let me know down in the comments. But I love my meals in a jar, and I'm always on the lookout for dry and powdered ingredients that I can use in my meals in a jar and use to make different dishes. So I thought these were going to be really awesome. Now, like we always like to look for, if we can, these have no GMOs, and these are actually gluten-free. This container has 42 servings, so I think that's pretty good for this little container. I'm not sure what the shelf life is on these, but I know that if I wanted these to last longer, I do believe if I put these into mason jars or Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. I do think these would last a very long time. And they do have instructions on the side here that tell you how you can make like a soup base, a sauce, or a dip. So, you know, thinner, thicker, and then the thickest, with measurements and everything that you need. So I am really excited to try these out. If you watch me, you know that I do use a lot of Hoosier Hill Farm products, or maybe you don't know, because I tend to not leave things in their containers. Once I open them up, I tend to put them in canisters like this one. This is actually a Hoosier Hills Farms product. Their Mac Daddy cheese sauce. Just Add Water, you know, kid-friendly macaroni and cheese powder. And then this is another product also from Hoosier Hill Farms, but I don't believe this is new. I know they've had this for quite a while. I've just never bought it. This is a white cheddar powder, and this is a really big container. This is a 2-pound container. And I'm going to get to why I want this. Well, obviously I could use this for lots of different things, for meals in a jar and just cooking in general, but I have kind of a specific thing I wanted to do with this that I'll get to in just a minute. And then I also bought this brand. I think I've used this Judy's brand also of different things. And I just read the reviews on these two, and they both got, you know, good reviews, and I really couldn't decide between the two of them, so I thought I would try them both. So this one is also gluten-free, non-GMO, hormone-free, made in the USA. And these also would be great on things like popcorn and all kinds of things like that, not just for meals in a jar. So they've got all kinds of uses. So some other things I got back here, I did get 2 boxes of instant jasmine rice. This is minute rice. Instant rice can be a really good thing to have in your prepper pantry because it cooks so quickly. You don't even really need to cook it. You basically just need to boil water and pour some boiling water on it. So it is also really good for meals in a jar, because when you're doing meals in a jar and a lot of your ingredients might be freeze dried, those are gonna be ready really quickly. They really just need to refresh in the water for a minute. So you don't want to be cooking with rice necessarily that isn't instant, because that rice will have to cook so long that your other ingredients might overcook. These can also be good for making your own backpack style meals, you know, kind of like Mountain House pouches and Backpacker's Pantry, where you put all your ingredients into a Mylar bag, and then when you're ready to eat it, you just pour boiling water in it and let it set, and then you have a meal. And I like jasmine rice. I have a lot of regular white instant rice, but I like jasmine rice for certain Asian dishes, so I like to get some of these, because this only comes, I've only ever seen this in a pretty small box. So I like to grab, but they're very inexpensive, so I like to grab 1 or 2 whenever I can, so I have it. And then I did grab this Just Add Water. This is Marie Callender's. There's only a few brands that make a Just Add Water cornbread mix, and I'm on the hunt. I wanted to find a good Just Add Water cornbread mix that's available commercially through the stores, because I like to do my meals in a bag. So besides meals in a jar, I do the meals in a bag, and that's where it uses a variety of dry and canned ingredients, but all the ingredients to make your whole meal are put together into one bag, and that's going to include the water. If there's any water needed for the meal, I add that in there. And I try to have just Add Water ingredients, so that I don't have to worry about trying to find a way to have oil and egg and milk in those bags, because that's something that's not always accessible to everyone. And likewise, I do make my own Just Add Water cornbread mix, and we love that cornbread mix. But I'm looking for stuff that's commercially available, just because I want this to be accessible to everyone. So if people don't have their own homemade mix, and maybe they don't have the ingredients they need to make it, they can still just buy something from the store and make these meals in a bag. And then behind these sauce mixes, I have a case of this Annie's mac and cheese. Of course, the Annie's is a good organic brand. Now, I used to buy this a lot because one of my daughters loved this. This is the shells and white cheddar. I haven't bought this in years because my oldest daughter loved this. This is the only macaroni and cheese she wanted to eat for a long time, and then she got sick one day after she had it. She didn't get sick from eating it. She just happened to get sick afterwards, and you know how sometimes you just don't want to eat something again if you've been sick after you ate it. So we basically stopped buying it, but the reason I wanted to get this, does anyone else out there remember Annie's Mild Mexican? It was a flavor of Annie's macaroni and cheese, and it was my absolute favorite. When I was in college, I would just eat that by the box full. I loved it, and they discontinued it many years ago, and I have asked them about it, and many other people have asked about it. And they send out a little copycat recipe. They sent me, when I asked about it, you know, instructions on how to make something that's supposed to taste just like it. And I've never actually tried it, but I'm ready to try it, I think. And it does start with a box of the white cheddar. So I got these so I could experiment with the recipe that they sent and some of my different ingredients and try to make a copycat of the Annie's Mild Mexican. And along those lines, that's also why I bought these white cheddar powders, because I thought I could probably try to do a meal in a jar where It's completely homemade by me. I'm not starting with a box mix like this, and I'm making my own version of that mild Mexican mac and cheese. So that's a project I'm going to be working on because that stuff was the bomb. If anybody remembers it, let me know down in the comments. Then this is just one more flavoring. I like to have this ham, packets of ham, sort of ham bouillon, I guess you would call it. It says flavor concentrate. These are good for like beans and bean soup and things like that, and they would also be good in certain meals in a jar. So I do like to have these. It's handy to have packets of things like this if you are doing meals in a bag, where you might want to include just one packet for one meal. So now on to my Thrive Life order for this month in July. I did get a case of the tomato dices in this small can because these tomato dices actually only come in the small can. For some reason, they don't come in the larger can. Like that one that you see behind, which is a gallon size can. This is a quart size can. So I got a case of these. A case of these pantry cans is 10. And I did just go through a bunch of these diced tomatoes when I was doing recipe development and testing, and made my Southwest frittatas, and we did salsa in a jar and all sorts of things. So I used a lot of these, so I needed to replenish. Because honestly, diced tomatoes like in a can is one of my most used canned items. And so when I'm replicating my recipes into jar meals and things like that, I'm going to be using the freeze-dried equivalent of those. And so this is basically going to be the freeze-dried equivalent of a canned diced tomatoes. And just like all Thrive Life products, it is an American company. They have no GMOs. They're mostly single ingredient, very clean foods, no additives, no preservatives. They have a lot of things that are gluten-free. Not everything is gluten-free, but it will tell you on their website what is gluten-free, and they're very, very good with cross-contamination and all that stuff. So I did get, like I said, a case of the tomatoes, which is 10 cans. Then I also got, these are some of the pantry cans to the smaller cans of yogurt bites. I got vanilla and I got pomegranate. These are delicious. We just like these as a snack. And actually, the freeze-drying process does not kill the cultures, the live and active cultures. So you can actually get like freeze-dried yogurt starter. And so I'm going to try and experiment and see if I can use these as yogurt starter, which they're flavored and sweetened, so it's probably not the best idea, but I just thought it would be a cool experiment. And then back here, I got a couple of the family size cans, which are the gallon size cans. This is onion slices and this is broccoli. These are both on sale, I believe, this month. The broccoli, we absolutely love the broccoli. It's, how else are you going to have shelf stable broccoli? You really can't have canned broccoli. You can dehydrate it, but it doesn't retain all of its properties and all of its nutrition the way that freeze-dried does. But this is so delicious. It really is. Every time I open up a new can, I have to pop a couple pieces right in my mouth. It is so good. And even kids tend to really like this. So when you've got a kid snacking on just straight broccoli, that's always a win. And so the other few things that I got from Thrive Life this time, I got a couple more of these pantry cans of the instant milk, because as long as it's on sale 60% off, I just keep thinking of more reasons to buy more. I got a case of the large cans last time I ordered, and I got a couple of the smaller cans because I had different places that I could stash those in my little like weekly meal packs and things, but I keep thinking of places to keep these, like our camping stuff and things like that. So I got a couple more of the pantry cans of the instant milk while it's 60% off. Honestly, I am debating starting to move to using the instant milk all the time, because I have noticed an issue with my milk lately, and I'm curious to hear if any of you guys have noticed the same thing. My milk, my fresh milk I buy from the store, is going bad way, way faster than it ever used to. Just in the last couple of months, it's kind of crazy, and I'm wondering if anybody out there has noticed the same thing. Let me know down in the comments. I just had a gallon the other day. I went to get some milk for my daughter, and it was completely chunky, and hadn't been open very long, and it had been in the fridge, and it was the 13th, the 14th, I think, and the date on this milk was the 22nd. And it had already gone bad. It hadn't been open that long, because I know you kind of speed up the clock on that when you open something up. And I haven't checked our fridge yet, but it's a pretty new fridge. We had to replace our fridge just about, in the last year, I believe. So it's not an old fridge, because that is a tip, I would say, for anybody, not really a prepping tip, but more of a kitchen tip. Get a fridge thermometer, a fridge freezer thermometer, and an oven thermometer. They're super inexpensive gadgets, and you can use them to test out your appliances and make sure that everything is the way it should be. I remember when I was in college, I had an apartment, and I couldn't cook anything in this apartment in the oven. Nothing ever turned out. And I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I finally got an oven thermometer and stuck it in the oven and found out that the oven was cooking 75 degrees higher than where it was set. So once I was able to adjust for that, I became a much better cook. But yeah, let me know if anybody else has had that issue with their milk going bad much more quickly than it usually does in the last couple months. And then back here I got a family can of bananas and a family can of blueberries because those two are on sale. And the kids love the fruit. We love the fruit. You can use it in baking. You can use it in things like smoothie meal in a jars. Like this one that I've done, this has all the fruit, yogurt, milk, everything in there. Just add a little water and blend it up and it's good to go. But my kids just love snacking on these as well, and especially the bananas. That's something that I know that if we weren't able to get food from the traditional routes from the grocery store, from the supply chain, I know that here in Maine we can't grow bananas. You don't really can bananas. I mean, you can. I've seen people do it, but it's not going to be the same. So that's part of the reason that I definitely like to have a lot of those bananas, the freeze-dried bananas, on hand. If you want to keep up to date with what's on sale with Thrive Life and coupon codes when they come out, flash sales when they happen, everything like that, you can use our text service. If you just text SALE to the number that I'm going to put down at the bottom of the screen, and I'll have it down in the description box as well. Text SALE to that number and that will put you on our sale alerts, and you'll get a message right to your phone anytime there is a new sale, a big sale, a flash sale, a coupon code, anything like that. And another thing that we've got going on right now is we are doing a giveaway. It's for all of our Thrive Life customers and just anybody on our customer list. It does not matter if you've placed an order or not. Even if you haven't placed an order, you can get an entry into the drawing as long as you're on our customer list. So all you have to do is text drawing to this number down on the screen once again, and you will get instructions on how to enter. We're going to be giving away a chef pack from Thrive Life. These are awesome. This is a box that comes with about 9 different items from Thrive Life, and they all work together to create different recipes. So it comes with a stack of recipe cards, a collection of recipe cards, and it teaches you how to use those ingredients to create all these different dishes. And it's really awesome because it really kind of can help you get comfortable and familiar with cooking with freeze-dried food if you aren't already, and teach you a few new recipes. And if you are storing freeze-dried food, then you definitely should be familiar and comfortable with cooking with it. So this is really an awesome prize, and we're super excited to be giving this away. And then the next couple of things I got are a couple of sort of off-grid kind of tools. Now, I just did a video on this, I think it was last week, different things that you would want to have in case of grid down, in case of power outages, different types of tools you can use. And I always try to think of how I would do things without electricity. The things that I typically use electricity for, I'm always trying to look for an alternative option of how to do that without electricity. So this little tool here is one that I've been wanting for a while. I mentioned in that video, I showed it and I said I was going to get myself one. Well, I did, and it's here. And my stepmother has this, and that's why that's kind of what put it on my radar, because I've seen her use it. She's kind of a picky eater, and she likes to have chips and salsa, but she doesn't like any chunks in the salsa. You know, no little bits of onion or anything. So she has one of these, and she puts her salsa in it and just whizzes it up. It's just, you just push this, you just push that down, and it runs the little blades around, and it works great for her salsa. It makes it completely smooth. So that's why I decided for things like chopping and things like blending, things that I would use my Ninja for, my Ninja chopper, my Ninja blender, lots of different things like that. My electric food processor, I can do a lot of those tasks in something like this. And I definitely wanted to get the same one that I saw her have. I've seen other things along these lines, you know, different places. And I just didn't want to take a chance because I know I'd seen this one in action. I know I've seen how well it works. And so I just wanted to go with what I knew would work. It also says that this is great for things like chopping fresh herbs. And I think that that's going to be really awesome. I'm going to be excited to use it for that because that's something that just drives me nuts. I love using fresh parsley and things like that. And I just hate all of the tedious chopping. I'm always looking for something that will make that easier. And then the other tool, this was something I actually picked up from the Goodwill. This is just a manual meat grinder. It's an old one. I don't know if it's an antique, but it's old. And I saw this there for a pretty decent price. I used to have one of these. I have no idea what happened to it, but it's definitely an important tool to have, and it was very inexpensive. But like I said, everything that you would use an electric operated machine for, just think of how you would do it if you didn't have electricity. So next I've got a few things that I grabbed from Azure Standard. They are a great company, great place to shop with. I'll have links down in the description box if you want to check them out. We've been ordering from them for a while now. I do an order once a month and I get a drop delivered. It's about 5 to 10 minutes up the road from me where I pick it up. So that's awesome. You definitely don't want to do shipping with them if you can help it because it's much cheaper to do a drop. So what I got from them, the first thing I got is this 50-pound bag of soft white wheat. I love getting it. To me, that's the best place that I've found to buy your whole wheat berries. The price is good, the quality is good, it's organic. And why is it important to have whole wheat berries in your food storage? Well, first of all, there's so many things that we make out of wheat, and we usually make it out of wheat flour. Things like breads and pastas and cakes and cookies, but flour doesn't store as long. Ground flour doesn't store as long as the whole wheat berries. These will store for 25-30 years and be perfectly fine if you keep them airtight in Mylar or something like that with oxygen absorbers. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to repackage this because it comes in this big paper sack, but that's fine with me. We also sometimes use these grains in our homemade chicken and duck food, and I like that keeps it rotating a little bit more quickly than it might if we were just using it by ourselves. Besides your food storage, it can actually be beneficial to your everyday cooking to use the whole wheat berries. Number one, there's so much nutrition inside that whole wheat. And as soon as it's ground at the mill or wherever it is that they make the flour, within a couple of days, it's lost almost all the nutrition that was in it. So by the time you get your flour at the store, there's really not much good left in it. So if you're storing wheat berries, you should definitely have a grain grinder, a grain mill. And then if you mill your own flour and use it as you mill it, then you're going to get a lot more nutrition out of it. But you can also cook these berries kind of like a rice type of dish and make cereals out of them for the morning. You can make pilafs, things like that. So just because you don't have a grinder doesn't mean that you can't start stocking up on these, because if you haven't been able to afford a good grinder yet or good mill, you'd still have a use for them. The next thing I got was this case of lemon juice. This is supposed to be really good lemon juice. It's this Santa Cruz brand, and I saw people saying really good things about this lemon juice and saying it makes really good lemonade and things like that. So I thought I would get this to try because I have seen people, I love making lemonade concentrates. If you saw my video I've done on that, I've made I've made so many now. Strawberry, raspberry, plain lemonade, cherry limeade, made all sorts of concentrates and canned them up. And I have seen people do it with store-bought lemon juice, just the kind in the green bottle that you get at your typical grocery store. And I have never tried that. I cringe when I see that because I can't imagine it's anywhere close to as good as fresh squeezed lemons, which is what I use for mine. And I've actually gotten a really good deal on organic lemons to squeeze from Azure Standard. I got a whole 10-pound box of those earlier this year. But this is supposed to make really good lemonade, so I thought I would try this, try some of the lemonade concentrate with this bottled lemon juice and see how it is, because sometimes it is difficult. It can be expensive to get fresh lemons, that many fresh lemons that I would need, and it's time consuming to squeeze them all. So I just thought this would be a nice option to have as a backup. And there's lots of other things you would use lemon juice for as well. So, and then next I grabbed this bag of Celtic sea salt. This is a really good salt. It's all natural and high in minerals. Salt is a really important thing to have in your prepper pantry. People really underestimate how much salt you should really have on hand. It's a forever food. It's not going to go bad. You don't even need to be really, really careful of how you store it. Obviously, it should be kept dry and airtight, but you don't need to be too careful with it. And salt is a really, really necessary element that our bodies really need. You literally can't live without it. It's gotten a bad rap, partly because I think in the diet that people tend to have in our country today, people tend to eat way too much salt. But also I think there's a lot of things that probably come from other things in our diet that get blamed on salt. That's honestly what I believe. So, but that is a really good salt, and it was on sale, and so that's why I picked it up. Like with Thrive Life, I start with the sales, what's on sale that month when I look to see what I'm going to order. That's a good thing to do if it's a place where you're just so overwhelmed because they have so much, which Azure Standard is like that. I get so overwhelmed because they have so much good stuff. I go there and I tend to go look there for almost anything I need. I look there first because they also have great prices. And they're just a great company to work with. But I start with the sales flyer or the sale section and I see what's on sale. So I think I can leave a link directly to the sales section down in the description if you want to check that out. So a lot of what I got was on sale, but not everything, because sometimes I just get inspired and move on from there. And I got this bag of collagen. Now, I actually got 2 bags because it had extra points back. Now that's another thing to look for. Not only their sale prices, but you earn little points on everything you purchase that you can use. It turns into dollars that you can use to take off your next order. And sometimes they'll have a deal where they have extra points. Instead of getting 2 times points, you'll get 16 times points or something. So this had a really good deal with points. So I grabbed 2 of them, and then I told my sister about it, and she wanted to try one. So I gave one of these to her. But if I like it, then I'll grab some more for she and I, because this actually ended up, when I did the price per ounce, the price per serving, this was cheaper even than the Equate brand from Walmart. And I know it's a lot better quality coming from Azure Standard, so, but I like having some collagen every day in a drink, in my tea or something like that. It's really great for your skin, and it's really great for your joints, and I really do notice a difference when I take it and use it. Then back here, this is another 1 pound bag of raspberry leaf tea, or raspberry leaves. It's just loose raspberry leaves. It's a huge bag, honestly, and I did just purchase a 1 pound bag of this not too long ago. And then it went on sale right afterwards. It was on sale last month or whenever I placed this order. So I thought I'd grab another bag, because raspberry leaf tea, it's really good for like feminine issues like cramps and that time of the month and things like that. And I started giving it to my daughter, and it was really, really helping her. And so I know we're going to continue to use it. And so I figured I'd grab another bag while it was on sale. I do store it. This is a 1/2 gallon mason jar. I do store it in a mason jar. I emptied it out into this, and this is what we use it out of. But this is already packaged up in Mylar, so until we open this one up, I'm just going to keep it in the bag that it's in. But it's really, really awesome stuff. They have a lot of medicinals and teas and things like that at Azure Standard. And so then along those lines, I got a few different things for loose tea, because we've been doing a lot more loose tea lately. So I did get, I have a couple things around the house, but I just found like we needed more. This is a tea infuser, like on a handle. It's mesh. This is one that's just a ball, just a mesh ball. And then I got a couple packs, because they were very inexpensive. I got a couple packs of these cotton reusable tea bags. I thought that would be a handy thing to have on hand as well. And it's useful for other things besides tea. So, like, probably I could use this for my mulled cider with my mulling spices and things like that. And next I did grab another one of these. I think I just talked about this in my last haul. Of course, I have some of these. This is a magnetic lid lifter for your canning jar lids. I have some just like this, but they're always lost because it's just a really thin tool. I don't know where they go. I have a feeling I'll find them under the island or something, but this was less than $2. This was a really awesome price on sale, and it's actually, I don't think it's on sale anymore, but it's still under $2. So I figured it was worth grabbing another one of these. And then this right here, this is something that I got for the animals. This is also from Azure Standard, and it was either on sale or had extra points. It was a good deal. And this is basically a probiotic for the animals. And I'm going to be working on making, I've made my own cat food, canned cat food, and I'm going to be working on dog food soon. And I thought this would be good to have, not only to use for our pets every day, but to have for the food that I make. And these are actually both basically the same thing. This is supposed to be for horses, and this one is supposed to be for dogs and cats. But if you look at the ingredients of them and you look at the nutritional information, what I realized from doing some research is pretty sure that this is the same as this. It's just a different dosage. And so a lot of times with pet medications and things like that, you will find that you have to do some research. I definitely would not recommend for anybody to do this. This is just what I'm doing, and you would have to do your own research to find out things like that. But it's a lot less expensive to buy this big thing that's made for horses than it is to buy this little thing, if you talk about like per dose for cats and dogs. And my daughter does work with horses every single day. She has a horse, so it's not like this wouldn't go to use if I find out that I'm wrong about that. But I just thought I would grab this one just in case to get me started, but I think we're going to be going with this larger bottle because it's much more economical. And then the final thing that I have back here is I have a couple of cases of canning jars. These are 1/2 gallon canning jars. I do use a lot of these, mostly like I showed you with the raspberry leaf tea and other things like that. I mostly use these for storing dry goods and things like that. The thing with mason jars is that they're super, super airtight. Honestly, they don't let any air, any moisture in if you're using that canning jar lid. So they're really great for storing powders and things that tend to clump. Honestly, if I had to do it all over, I might store all my freeze-dried foods in mason jars rather than canisters. Anybody that is looking for advice on that, I always recommend mason jars. You can vacuum seal them if you want to, but even if you don't, they are super, super impervious to the elements. They really are. They're rodent proof. Nothing's going to chew through glass, no bugs, no rodents, things like that. Plastic, Mylar, none of those things will keep out rodents and bugs. The only thing about mason jars is the fact that they're clear, and so they do allow light. So if you're going to want to store them someplace that light is not going to get to, in a dark closet or something with a curtain or a door or something like that, because the light will definitely degrade some of your foods that you can store in there. But I definitely use a lot of these, and I needed to restock and get some more to have on hand. So this is a dozen because each case has 6. And I will have a link to the place where I find the best prices on my mason jars. And if you're looking for mason jar lids, I must say Azure Standard is like the best place to get lids. They have really good brand. They don't sell the ball lids, they sell the superb lids, and they have a really great price on them. You can buy them in bulk, and I have gotten them on sale. They do go on sale. So I'll try to remember to put a link to the lids also, but I'll have a link to Azure Standard, so just head on over and check them out. They have so much stuff. It's amazing. It's incredible. And if you're one who likes to eat food that's a little bit cleaner, a little bit healthier, things like that, this is another great resource to shop from. Okay guys, that's everything that we've added to our Prepper Pantry this week. I hope you enjoyed this video, and especially seeing some of the new products I found. I'm really excited to start working with some of those with my Meals in a Jar. I'm sure we have some Meal in a Jar peeps watching today. If you love Meals in a Jar, or you're just curious to learn more about them, I do have a brand new Meal in a Jar group on Facebook. It's growing, and it's a great, friendly, and active community. So come join me there if you haven't already. I'll put the link to that down in the description box of the video. And don't forget, if you think you might want to work with me on this special new project that I'm jumping into, go check out the link that I have down below in the description box as well, and in the pinned comment, and get yourself registered for a spot on that Zoom call, and I'll be looking forward to seeing some of you there. Lastly, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me an American flag emoji down in the comments. If you're not from the USA, you can leave your flag, because I would love to see where everyone is watching from. And check out this playlist right up here next for some more content that I think you'll enjoy. I'm Jara with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.